in my photography business, one of the questions I get more often than not is how much does this cost? It's probably one of the hardest questions because there's so many different elements to this. And so what I want to go over with you, I want to share with you 5 key factors for pricing in photography. What are the things that really matter? Before we talk numbers, you probably need to know what kind of buyer you are. It's often and more important to understand like what type of buyer are you and do you really align with what the photographer offers? Now, when you call me or when I sit down with you, one of the first questions I ask you is on a scale of 1 to 10, how important are these pictures to you? Now, there's a really important reason that I do this. What I would love for you to do is just go ahead and comment right below. Comment what your number would be. 10 being extremely important, 1 being not that important. What would you rate yourself or how would you score yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 about? So moving on, let's talk about what buyer type you are. We're going to talk about 3 specifically, and we're going to call these the buyer mindsets. Number 1 is the bargain mindset. The bargain mindset is a person who really doesn't so much care about like the type of photographer, about what it is. They just want pictures and they want to get it done and they want to get it done cheap. They don't really care a whole lot about the details. If you mark yourself anywhere from a 1 to a 5, you're probably likely going to find yourself in that bargain mindset. Now, the next option is the value mindset. The value buyer is willing to spend a little bit more money, but they want a little bit better experience and they want to make sure that everything lines up. They're not necessarily equipped to spend a lot of money, but they are invested in a quality product, quality experience, and want to make sure that things are done right. They don't necessarily want to go the extra mile of having everything done for them. This is going to be kind of your mid-range photographer. Most of you who rated yourself anywhere on that scale from 6 to 7, you're probably going to be in that value mindset. Now, our last one is the luxury mindset. That is typically the person who money is not the issue. They care more about the experiences, care more about the service and how they feel. That is going to be your luxury mindset. Normally, they're going to rate themselves on the scale of 8 to 10. Now, you may not necessarily consider yourself a luxury buyer, but photography might be an exceptional value to you, and therefore you might place yourself in that luxury buyer mindset. Just to put dollar figures to this, typically your bargain buyer is going to be anywhere in that range from $200 to say $500-$700. There are photographers out there, typically those photographers lack a lot of the experience and they are just trying to make a dollar in the business. Your value mindset are going to be the people that are anywhere in that range from $700 to $1,500. Photographers that know a little bit better what they're doing, better in posing, editing, and run a little bit better business. They might be uncomfortable with their pricing and the services they offer, a little misdirection in that. Whereas when you get into the luxury mindset, you're going to be dealing with a photographer that knows what they're doing. They've been around for a long time. They have a good reputation. They've been through a lot of educational time and they can provide an exceptional product service experience. Those are your buyer type. I'd love for you to tell me below, what type of buyer do you align with? Are you a bargain buyer? Are you a value buyer, or are you a luxury buyer? Let me know below. Now, moving on, what are you really buying? A lot of people just don't understand what they're paying for in photography. There's photographers that charge you for their time and deliver an unfinished product. What I mean by an unfinished product is they're giving you the digitals. I consider a finished product as a completed picture ready to hang on your wall. What are the things that you're really buying? Albums, wall art, prints, digitals, cards, a lot of different things that you can choose from. It's really important for you to consider what's most important to you, what you get afterwards. Products are important, can talk about packages. There's a lot of people that offer packages. Oftentimes this comes from not knowing exactly what people are going to want. And then there's also a la carte. A la carte is really just giving you the opportunity to choose, I want a picture of that. I think it would look good on my wall, or I really like the albums, and you can kind of build your own package. There's also emotional value. Pictures are really about history. A lot of times what pictures are is they're defining a point in life or a certain point in your history. Senior pictures, it's an incredible milestone in somebody's life. You've spent the last 18 years raising this child. This is the picture that defines who they are under your care. It's the end of one chapter and the start of a new one and who they will become. You can prolong the life of it on your walls. Nobody ever looks at a picture and are disappointed. They find themselves smiling and seeing that picture. So it's important to understand that the longevity of the products that you purchase. If you are purchasing digitals, something to understand is that the digital world has changed so much in the last 20 years. Floppy disks, zip disks, then hard disks. Now we have hard drives that constantly fail. A lot of people save stuff on their phone and save stuff on the cloud. People will lose phones before they've backed stuff up, might not even remember what pictures they've lost. And that's why we're considered the forgotten age. Because it's so easy and accessible, we don't really prioritize it and it becomes forgotten. Whereas print gives you the opportunity to just display them in your house and show what you really value. I would love to hear from you. What's most important? Do you care about a finished product or something that you can have on your phone? Or are you really interested in having both? Moving on to our third key factor in pricing for photography, how the photography is priced. Have you ever wondered why two photographers can charge wildly different prices? I got a call from a lady the other day that says I can find a photographer for $200 to $300. Well, that's absolutely correct. There are a lot of photographers for $200 to $300. However, they will not have the experience that I have. They will not have the understanding the product. They won't know how to pose you properly. It's like hiring a dentist that has been working on somebody's teeth for 40 years versus hiring somebody that is straight out of college. What would you prefer? That's really the question you have to ask. Let's break it down. The time invested. How much time does your photographer put into the session planning? How much time do they spend with you on the session? What kind of edits do they do? How much time do they actually do in editing? A lot of people call editing just clicking a button and adding a filter. Oftentimes misunderstood or missed is what you do with that photo after it comes out of the camera can actually diminish the quality, longevity of that photo. Meaning if it's cropped down in size, it can't be sized up to a larger size. It's important that you have a photographer that understands those elements and can create an image but still have a backup of the raw file. Also, it's the time that a photographer takes to help you through the ordering process. With a senior portrait session, we're normally invested about 20 to 25 hours in a senior session. Even though we go out on a session only for 4, maybe 5 hours at the most, we're actually spending hours after that in preparation, the editing, approvals, and the sales sessions. One thing that people don't understand is the skill level, the gear, the customer service that comes along with it. The customer service is one of those things you're just not ever going to see until you've experienced it with a photographer. Find out how they work with their customers based on Google reviews. But when it comes to skill level, you're going to want a photographer that has experience. Gear makes a big difference. If you like those soft, beautiful images, that actually has to do with the lens on a camera. A lot of times that gear, just one camera, one lens, can be upwards of $10,000 just to make an image the way some of us make those images. Understanding the cost of doing business. How much time do we put into it? What kind of overhead? What kind of services do we offer? I always take all of my clients to Dutch when we go out on a shoot, and that's my treat. And that's an expense that I build into my experience and into my service because I want to make sure that you relax. You forget about the fact that you're in front of a camera. Softwares that it takes to run a photography business, there's a lot of expense that goes into this. The last part is the photographer you're working with a shoot and burn photographer, meaning they just shoot pictures, put it on a disc and give it to you? Or is it a photographer that works as a full-time photographer? Whatever you do, don't ever compare a photographer to another photographer unless you understand the apples to apples. Photographers are not created equal. Though there are many photographers that take beautiful images, just because they have beautiful images does not mean that they provide a good service. They know what they're doing with their images. There's a lot of different factors that can go into it. My question to you is, which would you prefer? So you want a cheap photographer or do you want a good photographer that has experience? I'd love for you to tell me in the comments below. Our fourth key factor for pricing photography, the value versus a custom experience. This is really pretty simple. Is it better to get everything included up front or to pay for what you want later? I think that it's important as a photographer that I do my job. And so therefore, when I go out with a client, I'm hoping that I'm going to capture the images that you're going to love. You get to view the pictures, choose your favorites, and instead of a photographer that you're just going to get what they have, whether you get pictures that you like or not. You paid for a service, that's all you get. Some of the pros and cons of each kind of depend on your personality. If you don't care about an experience that is incredible, then if you really want something easy and simple, hire a shoot and burn photographer. But if you want an experience that is something you're going to talk about forever, find a good photographer that fits and has an incredible customer service and incredible product. One of the benefits to having this customized experience like what we offer is it doesn't push you into a box. We can take the time to find out what are your likes and dislikes, passions and hobbies, and we can create images that really exemplify who you are and what you love to do, and make sure that it matches your personality. And that's one of the benefits of a customized experience. Do you prefer best experience for your budget, or would you prefer to get something customized specific to you, what you want? I'd love to hear that. Tell me in the comments below. Okay, last but not least, our personal approach. How do we actually work in the pricing game with, I kind of gave you a little bit of the information, last couple of key factors. We're not the cheapest photographer out there. I'm not trying to be. People choose us because we have a good track record. We've gotten an incredible experience. We create memories that people talk about forever. We also have beautiful product. We come into people's home, we hang the product for them. I like to look at what I do as an experience. You're hiring me to provide an experience for you, senior. Pictures are really just a byproduct of that experience. There's something that you're going to be able to hang up on the wall to enjoy for the rest of your life. And I love the experience because so many times I've seen where moms and dads have gotten to see their kid really just kind of blossom right in front of them. And I think that that's so important and valuable for a parent to be able to see. One of the things that is going to set us apart is we know our clients before we go out on the shoot. I am not the photographer that will say, hey, meet me in the park at 6 o'clock and I'll be wearing a gray t-shirt. I'm not going to do that. My clients, I know them, they know me. We're never going to be the photographer that just meets you, doesn't know who you are, and doesn't know anything about your personality. If I know you and I can capture who you truly are better through my lens, then that is going to match what you're hoping for in a final outcome of a photo. We're going to hold your hand through the whole process. We do a consultation, pre-session consultation in your home, where we talk about what you're going to wear, what things you want to have in your session, start times, potentially even locations in your home that you might want to hang pictures, what kind of product you want. So we're going to hold your hand through the whole process. When everything is completed, I actually come to your home and I hang those pictures for you. The full experience. If you feel like all of this describes what you are looking for, I'd love to get to know you a little bit more and see if there's something we can do to help you. Comment consult below. I will send you a link to schedule a consultation, and I'd love to talk to you a little bit more about your senior session. Take care.